wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. Go!
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep 'em out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me.
Awesome power of nature, hot excitement. Because after you get struck by lightning, there's thunder.
And welcome everybody to the Sunday morning football show. I'm your host along with Mitch Kofsky, and we're going to bring you all the content reviewing last week, talking about this week, also reviewing the matchups that happened this past Thursday on Thanksgiving. We all hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving this past Thursday, and you're ready for some Week 12 NFL football continuing this Sunday. Mitch, how are you doing today? How was your Thanksgiving overall?
So I'm doing well, man. You know, Thanksgiving was good. I had a lot of good food. The football was good for most of the games, in my opinion. But, hey, Michigan won. I'm more excited about that than anything else.
Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines and a very, very, very good win for them overall against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Obviously, everybody knows the rivalry between those two teams. So congratulations to them on their big win yesterday. What's going on, Cool Cat? Always good to see you, Cool Cat. I know you're hyped up probably for your Eagles tonight. It's going to be a big game for you guys against the Packers. So let's see if you guys can keep those winning ways up. But, Mitch, like we always do every single week, what was your biggest surprise that caught you off guard last week?
Oh, man, that is tough. You know what? Who did the Raiders beat?
I believe the Las Vegas Raiders. They beat the Denver Broncos.
So, yeah, I thought the Raiders were going to be on a losing streak, and wow, the Broncos actually lost that game. I'm shocked. I thought the Raiders were just going to keep on losing every week until they fire their head coach, but that's not the case. Not the case here. So I'm going with that. What about you?
Well, I'm actually going to go with the two New York teams, the New York Giants and the New York Jets. I'm coupling them together because New York football has really been on the rise this past year compared to where it was the past few years. But last week was really a comeback down to earth moment for both the Giants and the Jets. The Giants had a very bad performance overall against the Detroit Lions. They couldn't get anything done on the ground, in the air. Their defense was suspect, and the Lions pretty much tripped them up. And the Jets just can't solve that paradox known as the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. And they found a way to lose a game against the Patriots on a kick return for a touchdown with 5 seconds left to go in the game. So I'd have to say both New York teams and their performances last week really, really surprised me overall.
Yeah. The Jets, man. The Jets. We're going to talk about that later on, obviously. with the whole Zach Wilson situation. So, Jeff, who was your player of the week last week?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'd probably have to say my player of the week. I might have to give it to I might have to give it to Brandon Ayuk of the San Francisco 49ers. I love the way that Brandon Ayuk has really been coming out to play this year. He's really that fourth cog in that offense now. Everybody talks about McCaffrey. They talk about Samuel. They talk about Kittle. All Ayuk is doing is he's going out there and producing week in and week out. And I thought Ayuk had another great performance last Sunday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals. So I got to give credit where credit is due. And Brandon Ayuk, the dude's just balling right now. So I'm going to go with an off-the-wall pick. I'm just going to go with Brandon Ayuk of the 49ers, the wide receiver.
So for me, you can call me a homer if you want, but I'm going with Jalen Hurts because of that game-winning drive against the Colts. I mean, he put the team on his back. People are saying, can he get the win in the trenches? Can he lead this team to victory? We've seen it against the Colts. I mean, we pulled back from adversity, and that's exactly what we needed for Jalen Hurts to get that victory. So he only threw the ball like once in that game-winning drive. The rest were in his legs. Nice.
Hey, he's getting it done in multiple facets of the game. So with your legs, with your arm, doesn't matter. He's getting the win, and that's all that matters really in the end. So excellent job there by Jalen Hurts, being able to pull off that victory for the Eagles when it looked like they were going to lose that game.
Yeah. So who's your loser of the week then? Whatever.
My loser of the week has got to be the Minnesota Vikings. Their performance against the Dallas Cowboys, it's like they barely even showed up. It's like the Vikings forgot there was a football game last week against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys just did everything right, and you could say that Dallas was coming off a bad loss against the Packers, so they were trying to find a way to bounce back after that bad loss. And what did they do? They just absolutely made it look like that the Minnesota Vikings were not even playing a football game. They just beat them from pillar to post all over the place. And the Vikings, they to me were their ultimate losers because for a team that was at that point one loss on the season, it looked like that they were not ready to play football at all. Cousins was bad. The running game was non-existent. The defense wasn't doing anything. They were getting gashed in the run game. They were getting gashed in the pass. And the Minnesota Vikings just played a very, very, very incomplete game overall. So I'd probably say my loser of the week last week was the Minnesota Vikings.
All right. So for me, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Yeah, I was going to pick the Vikings, but I want to go to a different route. Oh, shoot. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I want to go for your Giants, though. Honestly.
Say it. They were a loser. They didn't play well.
I mean, hey, the Lions, they compete. The Lions competed since you guys just got down with injuries. That's why I didn't want to put you guys there because you guys lost how many players? 6 that week?
It's too many to count. We lost a lot of guys in that game against the Lions. The Dory Jackson one and the Wan'Dale Robinson one were the ones that really hurt the team because they're out. They're out long term. So those are the killer injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Robinson's out for the season, but Adoree might come back at the end of the season.
God, you guys just got the injury bug.
Yeah, it happens every single year with our team. We always seem to get that injury bug. We just have to wait when it's going to come by. And my other loser would have to be the Jets.
Yeah.
Why can't this Jets team figure out the Patriots? They can beat everybody else. They just beat the Bills. They beat the Dolphins. They beat all these other good teams. But when Bill Belichick and that New England Patriots team comes by, for some reason, the Jets just don't know how to play football. And even with as talented as the Jets are, and we'll get to Zach Wilson later because we'll probably have a lot to say on that situation.
Yeah.
But the Jets, for some reason, just cannot solve the mystery known as the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. That was a bad loss for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Thanksgiving games, we're here. Let's rank them from best to the worst. Because for me, honestly, I got to go with the Bills and the Lions first, and the Patriots and the Vikings, and then the Giants and the Cowboys. That Giants and the Cowboys game, to me, was just boring. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't for me. What about you?
Well, I mean, the Giants and Cowboys game was good in the first half because the Giants were able to create a couple of turnovers and keep it close. But then when the second half started and the Giants just couldn't muster anything going, and when that 4th-and-1 play happened where Jones and Barkley couldn't find a communication and Barkley dropped that pass while Jones threw it a little bit too wide, that really just turned the game completely, and that's when Dallas just took over. But in terms of I'd probably say that Bills-Lions game was the best. I agree with you on that one. I thought that game was incredible, up and down, back and forth the entire time. And that play by Josh Allen at the end, that beautiful 40-plus yard pass in the middle of the field to Stephon Diggs to get him in field goal range, and Bills winning it with a few seconds left to go. That game was fantastic. The Patriots and Vikings game was good too. Very up and down, very back and forth throughout that game between both teams. Vikings obviously pulling out the victory. And yeah, not even just being a biased Giants fan. I mean, I thought the Giants and Cowboys game was the worst one of them, even though the ratings obviously did incredibly well. But the game itself, it was okay. It was not great. It was okay.
And then that catch at the end, Pacers and Vikings game. People are still saying that was a catch or not. Like, I think you said it was a catch.
I believe it was a catch. I do. I believe it was a catch. Some people are going to say it wasn't. I believe that was a catch in the end of the game. But what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube.
Right. So, the whole Zach Wilson situation, do you think the Jets will let it affect them?
No, I don't. Because of the fact that the Jets, they have enough talent on that team to be able to rise up and not let this whole Zach Wilson situation bother them, and they shouldn't. Because if you let the quarterback situation for what he did after the game last week against the New England Patriots, if you let it get under your skin, then you're not ready to win this year. You're not. You have to just try to brush it off and just get ready for your game against the Bears. And the Bears, they're probably not going to have Justin Fields. It sounds like Fields is out for this game. So this is going to be a big advantage for the Jets. All you got to do is just regroup, play your game, and like you have with Mike White in the past, you have a great defense, you have solid playmakers on offense, get the job done, handle your business, and move on to the next week. What's going on, Philly halftime?
What's going on at halftime? You can pop on in if you want to, bro. I'll put the link in the group chat in a minute. So, yeah, this whole thing with the whole Zach Wilson in the press conference, it was just not. It was not right for what he did,
Alex?
for what he said, and everything. And my buddy, in real life, he's not on YouTube. He's a diehard Jets fan. And he goes, he's glad that the Jets sat him down. And it's like, they did this wrong, but they're showing him like, hey, you can't say that here. Now, looking long term, I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback for the future. I don't know.
I mean, how can you have confidence he's going to be the quarterback of the future when the guy is not performing on the football field, and he just seems to be a guy that, let's just be real, doesn't get it. He's just a guy that doesn't get it when it comes to the aspects of being a leader on that team. And there were questions about him being a leader when he was at BYU. He wasn't even a captain on that team when he was part of the BYU team. I mean, that's a problem. When your quarterback is not a captain in college and he's not a captain in the NFL, you have a serious problem in terms of leadership. And it's been displayed by how he's acted in the press conferences. So Zach Wilson, if he doesn't turn it around, and if Mike White goes out there, what's going on, Sports Coma? If Mike White goes out there and has himself a performance, then there's a possibility that Zach Wilson might not see the field for the rest of the season. And there's not out of the question that the Jets go into next year and they go look for a veteran quarterback. With the team they put together so far, they might go look for a veteran quarterback and take advantage of all the talent they have on offense and defense. So Zach Wilson, he better hope that Mike White doesn't have a great game, and he better get the message because his tenure as the starting quarterback of the Jets, it might be shorter than he thinks.
Yeah. And then Joe Flacco's still there. So I was kind of shocked.
Flacco's a bridge.
Huh?
No, Flacco's a bridge. I think it's a better off. Go with Mike White. He's still young enough. See what you got in him as a quarterback. If he gives you something, maybe you have something in the possibility of the future. If not, then you could obviously go back to Zach Wilson, see if he's learned from what he said, give him an opportunity the rest of the season, and then you evaluate after the season. But Flacco, he's a veteran. We already know what they have in him. Go with Mike White. See what this kid can do. He's the unknown, and he's had really good games, especially that last one last year against the Bengals.
Yeah. He's bad, but he's not even played a full 2 seasons, including being hurt this offseason.
There's
Yeah,
no
that-
excuses. No excuses.
Yeah.
He's got problems.
That injury was just bad for him. Breaking news:
OBJ will visit the
OBJ,
Giants
sorry,
in
yeah.
person this Thursday and this Friday. So the OBJ watch is on. Honestly, I don't care. I'm not thinking about Odell Beckham Jr. right now. I'm thinking about the New York Giants trying to regroup after they've lost 2 in a row, get some bodies back that are healthy, and play against the Washington Commanders next Sunday. That's what's important. I don't care about OBJ. Whatever OBJ does right now, that's fine. If he signs with the Giants, awesome. If he doesn't, that's fine too. All I'm thinking about is the Washington Commanders next Sunday at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. This whole thing with the OBJ Bowl is just like, it's just all talk. And watch that he goes to Buffalo. I'm just saying, just
Is
watch
he even
it.
going to play? That's the thing. Is Odell Beckham Jr. even going to play? He's coming off a serious knee injury, and fans have this deluded mindset that OBJ is going to come back and all of a sudden be the same OBJ he was back in the day when he first got drafted by the Giants. It's not happening. 30 years old, multiple leg injuries. He's had 2 surgeries on his left knee, 2 ACL surgeries on his left knee. This guy is not the same OBJ. So let's just calm down the OBJ stuff before we get crazy with it. Let's see what happens the rest of the season.
Right. QBs usually start to get it to read defenses as well year 3. Hey, that's exactly what's going on with Jalen Hurts right now. People saying, look, he can't read defenses. He's not good at accuracy. He's in year 3. And look what he's doing now. I mean, hey, he proved me wrong.
Honestly, Sports with Coma, it's the attitude that's the problem. The kid just seems like he doesn't get it. That's the problem with Zach Wilson. He just seems too arrogant, and it's like he doesn't get it. What he needs to do to become a leader on that team, he's got to take accountability when you don't go out there and you play effective football, which he hasn't.
I don't even want OBJ back. I was so upset when we drafted him. We only took him to replace Victor Cruz.
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't think they took him to replace Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz was just not the same player when he tore his patella tendon against the Eagles back in 2014. That's when they weren't drafting him to replace Victor Cruz. If anything, you could say Sterling Shepard, when he was drafted, was replacing Victor Cruz because of the fact both of those guys primarily were slot receivers. They weren't replacing Victor Cruz. They wanted Victor Cruz and Odell Beckham to be on the same team together for a long time. That's why they drafted Odell Beckham Jr. They wanted to team him and Victor Cruz for the long term at wide receiver. But when Cruz tore his patella tendon in that game against the Eagles in 2014, that's when the Giants just said, you know what? We can't rely on him. He missed all of that year. He missed all of the next year when he tore a calf muscle in the opposite leg. And they just couldn't rely on Cruz, and that's why they drafted Sterling Shepard, and then that's why they rolled with those 3 guys, and then they eventually moved on from Cruz the year after, and they brought in Brandon Marshall. What's going on, Coles? How you doing, bro? Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, I think we all know he had a happy Thanksgiving. The first time
He
the
probably had
Cowboys
a
won,
very good
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
was like, yeah. So crazy. So hold on. How many points do you think the Chiefs will put up against the Rams?
That's a good question. I have to see who's actually active and playing in this game today, but I think the Chiefs will at least put up 24, maybe 28 points, I'd say. I don't think they're going to go nuts because the Rams still have Aaron Donald. They still have Jalen Ramsey. They still have Leonard Floyd. They still have players on that defense. I know they're pretty much conceding the season because their offense is an absolute train wreck. But I think defensively they still have players, and they're going to play for pride, obviously, being the Super Bowl champs. So I think that overall, I think that the Chiefs might put up like 24, 28 points, but it's not going to be as nuts as many people think.
All right, halftime, I got you. Yeah. So for me here, they're gonna have a hard time stopping Patrick Mahomes. he's just gonna go off. So it's gonna be like, I'm gonna say 30.
I could see it. I could see it.
Hold on. Let me just send the halftime.
I mean, I'm just going by with pride because the fact that the Rams, they've had a really miserable season this year. Injuries have derailed their season. Their offensive line is horrendous. They can't protect anybody right now. Stafford's had 2 concussions now this year. Cooper Kupp is out. So the Rams, they are the definition of having that Super Bowl hangover. They've had the Super Bowl hangover and then some. But injuries have absolutely destroyed that team. And the 2 biggest losses for the Rams have been letting Andrew Whitworth retire when he retired and Roger Saffold when he went to the Titans. Those 2 moves right there have absolutely destroyed the Los Angeles Rams. Their offensive line can't protect, and it's evident because of the fact that Stafford's been hurt twice. They've got no production really from Allen Robinson. Their running game has been a disaster. Tyler Higbee has done nothing. And now Cooper Kupp, their only weapon on the outside, is out for pretty much the rest of the season. So the Rams, you know what? They could just go you know what the Rams could do right now? And I'll make this short. They could say, we got rid of everybody. We took away our future to try to be able to win in the present. They did it. They got their Super Bowl. But, man, are they going to pay for it going into the future, and would not be shocked if they think about selling some of these high-priced players after this season to try to get some draft capital back.
Yep. Yo, what's up, halftime? How you doing,
What up,
man?
halftime?
What's going on, guys?
Happy belated Thanksgiving.
You guys had a good Thanksgiving?
Well, besides the football game, absolutely. Love my turkey, love the stuffing, loved all the sides and everything. Football game was a downer, though.
Yep, mine was good. I streamed the first game with Rob, the Bills and Lions. I streamed the Cowboys and Giants game with Cool Cat. I fell asleep. Like, you could catch me on that stream. I was like snoring. I was back here. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, damn.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you eat turkey, man. You fall asleep.
Yeah.
That's before I even ate dinner.
You're falling asleep. I thought you were because you ate all that turkey. What time did you eat your turkey?
I had dinner during the Cowboys game. It was like around.
Oh, you had a late one then.
I was eating my dinner like around what? 7:30? Like, don't it? Like, shoot. 42. Yep. Yeah, they broke the record. The 42 million views for that game. Right. So, hold on. Halftime. Was there a game last week that caught you off guard?
I would say it'd be the Dallas game. That caught me off guard, especially with when the Giants had Dallas threw 2 interceptions to the Giants. I thought Giants had that in the bag, and then in the second half they came and just threw a big old goose egg. I don't know how that would even happen. You should have won that game.
Right. And who was your player of the week last week? I'll give you mine. It was Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts played good.
Yeah. He put the whole team on his back, and we got the win. It was an ugly win, but a win is a win.
That was a real bad win for me. I would give it to Sanu played good, and our defense stepped up, stopping the run.
Alexander said he'll give it to Tony Pollard. That was another one.
Game.
Namagun Sue, Linval Joseph, you can give it to one of those guys as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna give it to Sanu, and because he didn't really practice. He didn't really have a good practice week.
Yeah,
because we got him a little later. Yes, you could say it's Jalen Hurts, but I think everybody's going to be saying Jalen Hurts, and AJ Brown, everybody will give them guys. I want to give up to somebody new.
Yeah. If y'all play like that tonight, y'all will lose. Gotta wait and see. Gotta wait and see. So.
Cole, if your Dallas Cowboys throw 2 interceptions with the Eagles, you're going to lose. We're not the Giants. We're not going to let you win.
Oh, just to defend my team. Remember, we were playing our C team against the Dallas Cowboys.
You're good
we
at
were.
see. You
We
gotta stop
were.
that.
You have to be real. We were
Dad,
playing our
you gotta
C
stop
team.
that, man.
No. I'm not going to stop because when we were playing, like literally our third and fourth string guys that were coming off the practice squad, you expect Dallas to go out there and steamroll us. You have to be real. I'd say the same thing if it was with you guys. You're playing your third and fourth string guys. I give you guys credit. I know injuries is part of the game.
2 interceptions, and I don't even think you scored on any of them interceptions.
I think we got 1 touchdown on the first one.
Hey,
I mean that's the issue that I had with the Giants. I had the Giants winning that game, and then the Giants.
I had the Cowboys winning, and I got it right.
We just didn't have the talent. We're playing guys that literally
Giants
had
got
no
a good
business.
defense.
Yeah.
You guys decided at the second half to stop doing what you needed to do.
Because we didn't have a pass rush. We didn't have a pass rush up the middle. Thibodeau was the only guy getting pressure on Dak Prescott. Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence couldn't stop the run, and they were worn down. And we were playing, let's just be real, our cornerbacks in that game were Nick McLeod. They were Rodarius Williams coming off a torn ACL just being activated, and Darnay Holmes, who got CeeDee Lamb ate his lunch. That was our quarterbacks.
If you would have scored, if you would have won that game, then you guys would have been saying a whole different story. Oh, our third string guys picked off Dak Prescott like no tomorrow.
No, I would just say we won the game. I'm not going to go out there and be a cocky shit and say all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say we won the game when we shouldn't have. And you know what?
I think you should have won the game. If you got 2 interceptions, I think you should have won the game.
Well, you talk to a lot of Giants fans. A lot of Giants fans were going into that game already expecting defeat, and we're pretty much like saying we're not going to win that game because of how shorthanded we were. And then we're going into the game against Washington, hopefully to get a lot better. And our offensive line was a mess. Our offensive line was so bad. We were playing our 4th string left guard, our backup center, who I actually wish is our starting center, and like our 2nd or 3rd string right tackle. I mean, we're a mess. I'm not going to make excuses. We didn't get the win. I will say that. That is true. We lost the game, and that's the thing that matters. But at the same time, we were very hampered going into that football game. But I give Dallas credit. They made the plays in the end. They got the job done. The Giants are not dead like a lot of Giants fans think that they might be dead.
They're dead now.
They're dead now. No, I don't think we're dead. We're not dead in the playoffs. We're not dead in the playoffs.
You're out.
Lose. No,
you're out.
How can we be out when we're 7-4? You can't say we're out when we're 7-4. Why are we out? Say why we're out.
Because when you're out, because that game right there, it was going to be the do or die for one of your teams. If the Dallas would have lost, Dallas is going to be out of the playoffs. Now, the Giants lost, I think you're going to be out of the playoffs. And you've been saying it the whole entire time. You guys got too many injuries.
Yeah, we're going to get some guys back next week against Washington. Now, I will say this. Are you going
to get Beckham?
No. I don't care about OBJ. I don't care about OBJ. You've heard me say it all the time. I don't care if OBJ is a Giant or not. But I can't say we're out of the playoffs. We definitely need him. Well, yeah, because our wide receiver core, not named Darius Slayton, is just like an absolute disaster, especially Kenny Golladay. But at the same time, we can't be out because look at the playoff picture right now. The NFC is so bad, especially in the North and the South. The Giants are going to get in the playoffs unless they just collapse.
Now you got Tampa Bay. You got the 49ers.
Tampa Bay wins the division. 49ers get one of those wild card spots. Cowboys get another. There's still one wild card spot open. That could be the Giants. The Giants are right there primed to get that last wild card spot. Now, I will say, if we lose next Sunday against the Commanders, then my tone will change. At 7-5, then I will believe we're going into a free fall.
Well, you got a
But
lot
right
of
now,
faith
I
in your
can't say
Giants.
we're out of it. We're not out of it yet.
You got a lot of faith in your Giants after you just kept on saying that you're on your fourth string.
Because we're going to get guys back. Guys are going to come back from injury. We're going to get Evan Neal back. We're going to get Daniel Bellinger. We're going to get Ben Bredesen. We're going to get Azeez Ojulari. Those are 4 big players coming back to our team that will help
but
out
they
so
haven't
much.
played in a while, so they're not going to be ready.
They don't have to just go out there and play football. They don't have to go out there and, be all-stars. Just go out there and at least help out and apply pressure like Azeez will, because he's better than the other guys we have besides Thibodeau. And then Bellinger is that safety blanket. Sometimes all you got to do is just play a little bit of snaps in there, and you're going to get right back into the flow. So I can't say we're dead. That would just be ignorant for me to say as a Giants fan we're dead. We're not looking good right now. We have holes on the team. Yeah, we do. But at the same time, I can't say we're dead when we're a 7-4 team when the NFC is so mediocre out there. We're not winning. It's going to be hard for us to win
You're
the
right on
division,
that you can make the playoffs right now. You're not totally dead.
Yeah.
But to me, you're dead.
That's
to
fine.
Me, you died. When you lost the Dallas game, you died. That was it for the
That's
Giants.
fine. Are you talking about the division or the playoffs? Because the division, I think, is very hard now after losing to both Dallas.
I'm talking about playoffs.
Well, that's fine. I respectfully disagree but I think we still have a shot. But I understand.
Yes, you have a shot. I just don't. I think the Commanders might be able to get in there.
They could.
Wait, which team?
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up.
You really had to do that, didn't you? You really had to do that.
I wasn't paying attention.
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
Hey, well, I look at the playoff picture right now. You have the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Bucks, and the Vikings as those 6 teams right now that look like they're going to make the playoffs. The Giants are the 7th seed because remember we have that extra wild card.
Hey, the Giants may beat the Eagles twice.
They could. That's why I can't say we're dead because we still have 2 games against you guys and 2 games against Washington. What if we go 3-3 or what if we go 4-2? What if we beat you guys all 4 games? You never know. It's the NFL. Maybe we get our guys back and we go on a run. But I can't say we're dead yet. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out there and be a cocky shit and say, oh, we're going to get our guys back and we're just going to steamroll everybody because we're the Giants. No. I'm worried. I am worried. I have to admit I'm a little concerned from what I've seen.
Saying you're worried.
I'm concerned. No, I've always been realistic when it comes to my team. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what I've seen on the football field, but I cannot say they're dead at 7-4 when we still have 4 divisional games to go. The Dallas game sucked. That was bad. But at the same time, we still have 6 games to go. It's going to be a very, very tough schedule. Our schedule is brutal going down the stretch. But at the same time, if you want to be a playoff team this year, go out there, make the plays, rise up, and get into the playoffs. Just get into the dance. That's all I care about. Win these games, get into the dance, and we'll see what happens.
You do have a point. You still have a chance. It ain't like the Giants are totally dead.
Yeah.
You're close. You're on life support.
I wouldn't go life. So if we lose to Washington, we're on life support. It's going to get very, very, very dangerous if we lose to Washington, especially if they win this week too.
Giants will beat the Eagles.
We could.
No. See,
we could.
Out of hand. Cole just wants somebody to beat the Eagles.
Well, that already happened. The Commanders did it.
Yeah, that's one team. He's
becoming a Packers fan today.
So now Cole's going to say the Packers are going to win, and the Eagles are going to beat the Packers.
I mean, you don't know that. You guys struggled to beat the Colts. You don't know what's going to happen. They could lose.
You never know.
Johnny Gannon loses, can't stop the run, then the Eagles are going to have problems.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to get on your. I'm not trying to start you guys up, but why can't the Giants beat the Eagles? How many times we played against each other and we played close games? Why can't we beat you guys? We can. You could beat us. We could beat you. It's always close games.
Yeah, but
especially when the Giants and the Eagles play.
We have
Right
a
now
healthier
you do.
team.
Right now you do.
And then
but
we
we're
got
getting healthier.
Davis is coming back next week.
But you won't have Goddard.
Huh?
You won't have Goddard and Brown's banged up. Those are two
we
big.
won't have Goddard in
That's
the
not
first
good. Not having Goddard is going to hurt your offense.
But we have Devontae Smith. We have other weapons.
Mm.
We have more. We have our wide receiver core is strong. We don't have just AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
No, you do have a good wide receiver core, and you have a solid running back room, and you have
The
a great
problem
offensive
is we
line.
don't like running the football when we should be running the football.
That's
And
your offensive coordinator.
That's why we've been running. We ain't been really
Mm.
winning. We're winning games, but we're barely winning games
Yeah.
because
Let's
they
see.
try to reinvent the wheel and not run the football.
Well, that's what we were doing. We were trying to reinvent the wheel too, and why would we throw in the
Right.
football too much? I was wondering that too because I think Barkley is not healthy. I think Barkley, that shoulder injury, is impacting him. But the one thing I have liked that the Giants did do against the Cowboys is they ran a lot of 3-back plays with Brightwell, Breda, and Barkley. That fools the defense when we do those heavy personnel. We can get
Yeah, but
Bredesen
how
back
come you
and
didn't
Neal.
run Barkley? You should run Barkley more in the second half than you did.
Because Dallas was expecting it because we couldn't pass the football.
But it's Barkley. Barkley's stronger than the rest of the
But
guys.
not even Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Barkley. They can't run through what is like 9 or 10 in the box trying to stop them. You're going to stop the run if you have all those guys in the
That's
box.
why you need to. But you also need to pass. But you can't be pass happy.
No, we're not. No, I agree that we can't be.
And
pass
in the
happy.
second half, you was pass happy.
Yeah, because we couldn't run the football. They were stacked the box
That's
against
why
Barkley.
the game was so boring. That's why I fell asleep. They were throwing too much.
Yeah. Our two best wide receivers, arguably, are on injured reserve, besides Darius Slayton. It's Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson. Because if they played, it would have been a different story. But then again, they didn't play. Injuries, they happened. So what can we do?
Jeff, really quick. So
Shoot.
for the NFL draft, so with your first round pick, would you get a wide receiver?
Wide receiver. What? Not even a question. Wide receiver is at the top of my list. I want multiple wide receivers on the outside. We have Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. I don't know if Darius Slayton's coming back. He's a free agent. Get Kenny Galladay the hell off this football team. I think Shepard might just be gone. I don't think they're going to bring him back after 2 serious injuries. We need 2 outside wide receivers. 2 wide receivers, especially one that can command the double team. That's the one thing the Giants have not had since Odell Beckham Jr. is a wide receiver on the outside that will command the double teams, bless you, and will be able to open things up for other guys. That's what we're lacking. Darius Slayton is not a number 1. He's a number 2 or 3 at best. So I want in this offseason, whether it's a trade, free agency, or most likely what I want in the draft, I want 2 starting outside wide receivers. And when Robinson comes back from his ACL tear, you throw him in the slot and you go at it.
But you know he's not going to be ready because of the ACL tear.
You're probably right. He's probably going to be stashed on the
But
pup
he's going
list
to
at the beginning of
take
the
at
season.
least. He's going to be down for a while.
No, I agree. He's probably going to be on the pup list to start the season unless he makes an absolute miraculous recovery, and I don't expect it. He's going to be out at the beginning of the season. So we need help. We need so much help at the wide receiver position, and we need help at linebacker too. Our inside linebacker position is getting torched in the run game and the pass game. We need so much help there. And we need offense. We need guards and centers. Our tackle position is fine. Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. I'll go to war with those guys all the time. And Nick Gates is showing me something coming off that serious injury that he had last year. He's looking solid there, but we have no guards. Glowinski is not great. He's average at best. And our left guard position has been a rotation all over the place, whether it's Zudu, Bredesen, Lemieux, or Jack Anderson last week. That guy's no business playing. We need help on the offensive line. So I'd probably say wide receiver is my top position. Then it would be linebacker inside, interior offensive lineman, and then maybe a cornerback to replace Aaron Robinson.
Okay, so what about the tight end? Or you're good there?
I like Bellinger. You can get another tight end if you want, but I like Daniel Bellinger. I think he could be a player in the league. He's not going to be a Pro Bowler, I don't think, but the guy is a knack for getting open. he was actually developing a good chemistry with Daniel Jones before he got his eye absolutely destroyed against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I like Bellinger. I would get another tight end, like a flex one, a better version of Lawrence Cager that we have right now. But a tight end, I think we can find a tight end somewhere in free agency or the draft. But I like Bellinger a lot, so I'm not like disconcerted with the tight end position.
Okay. All right. And halftime. Rank the Thanksgiving Day games from 1 to 3. You want me to give you mine? So.
Yeah, let me think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this
Give
one.
me yours. I'm gonna just think.
It's tough.
Yeah, so for me, the first game is the Bills and Lions. Second one is the Patriots and Vikings. Third, Cowboys and Giants because I fell asleep. And I got good rest from that little nap. So thank you guys for that.
Oh, God damn it, Chad.
What did Chad say now? Oh my God.
What's going on, Chad?
Oh, there was no Bray Wyatt last night. Didn't it?
Yeah. He didn't need it, though. He didn't need him.
I know.
I think everybody would have been saying the Dallas Cowboys game first, but
For me, it was just bad.
it was.
Because I'm watching two NFC East teams who are doing worse than the Eagles. So, of course, I fell asleep.
I mean, the most watched was probably the Dallas game. You know what I mean? But I like the Vikings game.
Oh,
So
you did?
I would go Dallas 1,
Okay.
Vikings 2, and then Buffalo game.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. That was my first game, the Bills and Lions. So.
That Buffalo game was fun. That was
Yeah.
a really good
It was a
football
good game.
game.
The Colts and Eagles game was really boring. Well, Jalen Hurts led us to victory.
I gotta
Yeah.
say this real quickly. This is the thing that gets disconstrued with a lot of fans now. They want the pretty, high-scoring, fantasy football type games. Isn't football and sports all about wins and losses, guys? Isn't it all about W's and L's? It doesn't matter if it's ugly or it doesn't matter if it's pretty. As long as you get that
don't
W at the
matter no
end, that's all
more.
that matters.
It really don't matter no more because if you go by ESPN, they always say it's how much did you beat them by? Because now,
Oh, yeah.
if you look at Stephen A. Smith, which I'm having a problem with anymore,
Duh.
Oh, he
'cause
sucks.
love
he's
Stephen A.
riding on the Dallas Cowboys coattails. That, I mean, like, come on, be real. The Eagles are 9-1, and you're saying Dallas is going to win the division. How? How are you not giving no props to the Eagles? And I know ESPN and NFL Network, and nobody wants to talk about Philadelphia because they don't like them.
Bet you were,
but
Coles.
God, you have to be real too, and that's just not it.
Yeah, I agree. You can't just throw the Eagles away. It doesn't matter if it's an ugly win or a pretty win. You know what all that matters? You look at the record, you look at the end of the game, and if it has a W at the end, you have more points. That's the only thing that matters. And I think fantasy football and this misconstruction of fantasy football has really diluted a lot of people's minds. You got to win pretty now, and you got to score a lot of points. It doesn't matter. Just win the freaking football game. And if you get the W, you guys had a bad game last week against the Colts. You did. You struggled to beat the Colts, but you won the game. You still won the game. That's all that matters. You were fought through and you won the football game. That's all that matters. I don't care what they say, Coles. I never have cared what they say. That's why I don't listen to ESPN. That's why I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch any of that garbage stuff on television because all they're doing is they're just out of their mouths. That's it. They're just talking to talk. I guarantee us over here on this panel and everybody in the chat can do the same thing that all these people on ESPN and these broadcast shows can do, but better because we actually have the realism and the heart of what a fan feels like, but we can actually put out realistic takes and not sound like a goddamn idiot on television just to make themselves sound important. So I don't care what any of those people say. They've been trashing my football team all year. Sure, they trash you guys at times. They trash everybody. But you know what? It doesn't matter because you watch what you see on the field and you go by the eye test. That's the only thing that matters.
I get what Stephen A. Smith's doing. Stephen A. Smith's trying to build up the Dallas Cowboys fans so when they do lose, they can knock them.
Yeah, control them.
He can knock them and laugh and say, I told yous, they're going to fail. But yet when you start rooting for them, how can you sit there and say you told everybody? Because you're rooting for them and saying they're going to be better than the Eagles. You're saying they're going to be better than the Giants.
It's just stupid.
Oh, well. So,
I admit, we're the third best team in the NFC East. I can't even front. We're the third best team, maybe even fourth. I don't even know how good Washington is. They could beat us too, and we could be last. You want to talk about somebody that's being real? There you go. A Giants fan that says we could be the worst talented team in the division. Because I'm honest.
You
I'm not front.
got a good defense.
When it's healthy, we do. But
You
it's
got
not
a good
healthy.
defense, but see, my thing is it's coaching. Your coaching got to put your players in the right position.
I will say that Wink Martindale gets a little cute with his defense, but coaching is not a problem. I think it's personnel. I think we just don't have the complete personnel on that defense to compete. We don't have the depth. A depth on our team is so bad, especially on the defensive side. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, case in point. They have no depth at that defensive tackle position, and Lawrence and Williams are worn down. Nobody else can give them good depth, so at least rotate those guys in and out like you guys have. You guys can rotate defensive linemen in and out constantly and keep everybody fresh. We can't because we don't have depth. Our linebacker position is a disaster. We don't have any playmakers. McFadden, nice young player. He's not ready to be a starter. Jalen Smith, he's been up and down. Tay Crowder, he's a rotational player. And our safety position, McKinney, that injury killed us. Adoree Jackson's injury killed us. Moreau getting hurt killed us. Aaron Robinson getting hurt killed us. You're talking about some like our top cornerbacks all getting hurt. It's like taking away Darius Slay, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and James Bradbury out of your secondary. That's what the Giants are dealing with. But again, no excuses. We're not winning.
So Cole said, I don't care about winning the division. It's just a t-shirt and a hat. I want to win playoff games. The 2020 Bucks didn't win the division and won the Super Bowl.
Get to the dance. That's what I've been saying. Get to the dance. I don't care about the division. If we win the division, that's fine. Of course, I'd love to win it, but right now it looks out of reach. Get into the playoffs, and you never know what can happen in the NFL. There could be a day where the Eagles look unstoppable, and then they just have a trip-up game against a team they don't take as strongly, and then that team could trip them up in the playoffs, or my team too. Same thing. We can look strong going in the playoffs. Some team trips us up. You never know in the NFL. You always have those surprise stories coming out of nowhere.
Well, you never know for baseball either. Look at our Phillies.
The only sport that you have a good idea about it is basketball.
It's basketball,
you
yes.
have an idea of who are going to be the good teams. Baseball, football, hockey, you never know. It's like crapshoots all the time.
Who's your guys, if they get into the playoffs, would be a surprise?
My player or players?
A team.
A team.
What team do you
Surprise.
would say is a surprise as of right now would be a surprise if they make it?
The Jets. The Jets. Nobody expected the Jets to be in the position they are right now. I would say the Jets.
Jets had a great draft.
They did, but nobody expected the Jets to be in the position they are because they have questions about the quarterback. That's why. They have questions about who's the quarterback.
So, halftime, give me your opinion on the whole Zach Wilson thing, and would it affect the Jets for this game again? Who are they playing against the Bears?
Yeah.
I think they should get rid of Zach Wilson. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's terrible. I think I got him ranked in my quarterback rankings. He was like 31 or 30.
Yeah. Me and you
Yeah.
were going over
So,
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think he was horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's a horrible quarterback. And what he said about his team and all, and acting like he didn't want to take no responsibility, and he's the one throwing interceptions. I mean, come on, man. You got to take responsibility. So yeah, I'm glad they benched him, and I think they should have benched him a long time ago.
I agree. 1000% I agree. His attitude's the problem. The kid just doesn't seem like he gets it. He doesn't understand what it is to be a quarterback in the NFL with not only your field, the play on the field, but also you got to be a leader in that locker room. And you're not a captain. What quarterback in the NFL right now is really not a captain? He's not a captain. That's a problem. The guy should be close to one of your leaders on that football team. I know it's the second year, but the kid comes off as an arrogant young punk that doesn't understand the nuances of being a quarterback in the NFL.
But
And
that's the problem. He's young. That's what worries me about all young quarterbacks.
Gotta have somebody
Like their
get in the
head's
rear.
too big.
Yeah. Gotta have somebody get in the rear.
Yeah, you got to try and get somebody to trash him a little bit.
Bring him down to size. Bring him down to earth a little bit. That's what you need to do with Zach Wilson. Get somebody in his ear to bring him down to earth and realize that you need to start shaping up and turn yourself into a professional quarterback, or you will not be long for a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, because me personally, I kind of like what the Jets did on the in the draft. And you can see their defense right now is a pretty good defense.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but if it wasn't for Zach Wilson, I think they would have won a couple more games.
Wilson easily cost them at least a couple of games in that season.
They at least cost them the Patriots game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, halftime, how many points would the Chiefs put up against the Rams? I said 30.
I said 24, 28.
I think I said 40, 42.
Damn.
Because the Rams, hold on, their quarterback's not playing. Their top wide receiver's not playing. They don't have a running back.
They're missing Von Miller. That's like a huge thing.
Von Miller's out for the year, right?
Well, Von Miller's on the Bills. I think he's out.
But he's out for the year anyway.
They didn't say he's out for the year, but he's out for an extended time, so it could be the rest of the season.
But they don't have the Rams have nobody.
No.
They burnt everything they had to win themselves a Super Bowl, and now they're going to be hurting for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They're going to have to trade some high draft capital. They're going to have to trade players for draft capital.
But any team would want their team to do that to win a Super Bowl. They wouldn't care if you burn all the draft capital up as long as you got a Super Bowl. If it was the Eagles, if it was the Giants, if it was Dallas, if it was Washington, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But you got to get a Super Bowl. And that's what they did. They put all their eggs in one basket and got a Super Bowl out of it. Now they're going to be hurting for a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe I'm about to say this. It could be the Eagles next year. I don't want to say it. I really don't.
If Jalen Hurts is going to get paid, it's going to make the Eagles a lot harder to keep that team together. And same thing with the Giants. The Giants are going to, if they want to keep Daniel Jones, they're going to have to pay him.
So,
the Eagles especially.
I'm actually glad you said that because I was actually on my partnership's podcast, The Painted Lines, and we were just talking about like the free agencies and the contract going forward. And there's a rumor going around that Jalen Hurts could get $50 million a year.
He's not going to get $50 million a year.
I know he's not. I said like
he's not
40.
worth that.
I said 40.
His agent's going to try to get him that, especially if they go on a run this year.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if he gets $50 million, there's no way we're going to keep all these free agencies because we got like 16 free agents in this year.
That's why Mitch
Johnson, TJ Edwards.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned Philly halftime. You guys need to win this year. You guys have made these moves, and Howie Roseman knows that. You guys have to win this year. You have gone all in. You pushed your chips to the middle of the table. You are saying right now, this is the year we have to win with our quarterback on a rookie deal and all these high-priced players that are really on one-year deals. He's pushing his chips in the table and saying 2022 is the year the Eagles have to win the Super Bowl because if you don't, it could get it, you're going to lose some players, and you're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts. So that's when it's like it's going to make it harder for you guys to be in the position to sustain long term with all these players on your team. They're going to be free agents. So you have to win this year, and I understand why Howie Roseman did what he did because he sees
but
how
when's
mediocre
there
the
a
NFC
head
is.
coach? When's there a head coach in his second year win a Super Bowl?
I think it's I don't know. Did
It had
Tomlin
to
win
be
a Super
done
Bowl in his
before.
second year?
I don't think so.
They won in
I don't think there's a coach
2006.
It
that
had to be
went to a
done.
Super Bowl in his second year as a head coach.
It had to be.
When did Tomlin win that first Super Bowl? Was it 2009? I think.
Yeah, but that was like 3 years before, 3 or 4 years when he became a coach, right?
I don't remember when Tomlin was hired as head coach. It's like
I think
2007, 2008.
I don't think it's never been done. I can't remember.
It had to be done. I'm sure we're forgetting about a head coach that done it. I'm
Not
sure.
in his second year. Think about this. The second year,
Yeah.
I'm
There's
just
not-
saying.
I'm
it
telling you,
could happen.
it
And
doesn't.
there's always a coach that will
No,
always
there has.
forget it.
I don't think there has never been a coach in the second year that went to the Super Bowl.
Look at the talent he was given, though. I mean, he was just in a situation where his GM gave him a lot of talent on his football team, drafted well, brought in a bunch of key players through trades or free agency to put them together a very good roster. So you got to,
You as a coach, of all your players, you can have the. I can give you all the best players in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
As you as a coach, you had to put that player in the right position.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like everybody keeps on saying players, but yeah, you gotta have players, but you also your coach has to put you in the right position.
He's got to grow up and be a good head coach. He's got no choice. He's got the team he has right now, and it might be short-lived. You got to get it done. You have to hope Sirianni pushes the right buttons.
I have to look it up, but I don't recall a quarterback, a coach in his second year going to the Super Bowl.
Has there
you
ever
got to
been
do
a
it.
defensive coordinator in his second year to win the Super Bowl?
What's that?
And offensive coordinator. Isn't Steichen also in his second year?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have rookies at all coaches, and I don't. And this is the knock on the Eagles right now. Can they make it to the Super Bowl with these rookie coaches? You would say they're rookies, right?
Yeah, but they haven't made mistakes right now, so you got to hope that they don't make the mistakes when it gets down to it when they make the playoffs. You got to hope these guys are going to be the coach.
Game, they can't make that mistake.
Exactly. You just said it right there. You got to make sure you don't make the mistake in the big game because if you do,
I mean, Jonathan Gannon right now, I want to choke him.
I think Steichen hasn't
if I
been
could
great
smack
either.
him with a book, I would just to
He's
smack
been
him with a
doing
book.
better than Gannon, though.
Well, I
Steichen's
know how
been
much
doing-
you guys hate Jonathan Gannon. I know he's like
Gannon
the
drives
bane
me
of the
crazy.
Eagles' existence. But Steichen has had some questionable calls on offense, too.
Right.
Your coordinators are not helping you. I mean, they're not. I think Sirianni's done a very good job as head coach. Steichen and you know what? Steichen and Gannon, there might be coaching candidates next year for head coaching candidate because if you guys
Yes.
go far, you know that teams are going to be looking at your two coordinators
You can
to
have
potentially
Jonathan
become
Gannon.
head coach.
You go
Yeah,
and
but
can have
Gannon's
whoever
not-
wants Jonathan Gannon can have him.
I will
Jonathan
say-
I'll
Gannon
drive,
got
I'll drive
interviewed
anywhere he
last
wants to
year.
Yeah.
go.
Jonathan
But I will say
Gannon got
this.
interviewed last year.
He
for
did.
the Texans.
Yeah,
I will
'cause
say
they
this,
want
though.
to know. They knew he was full of crap.
Then why
will-
would they give him an interview then?
I will say this though. I will say this.
You have to
Coaching
give-
matters,
You
but
had
the
to
players
give a
have to
lot of
execute.
interviews just to give an interview. So it might have just been an interview just to blow smoke up the NFL's ass. They must give interviews to all sorts of coaches.
Right.
But how much do you give it just the coaches solely, and how much are you giving it to the players not executing the plays that are being called upon on the field?
When your coach tells your corners and your safeties to play 25 to 15 yards off the player, and they only need 3 yards, It's the coach.
Yeah.
They only need 3 yards, and they give
And
him
when you
15
only
yards
blitz
cushion,
3 times a game, that's the
and he
go.
does it a lot.
Maybe he thinks that his guys in the front can get home without having to blitz.
Well,
And that's
no,
another thing. You don't blitz.
He doesn't respect the quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, he
and the
has no.
quarterback that
My
he
bad.
should
He
respect-
respects them too much.
Yeah, he respects
respects
all
the
quarterbacks.
quarterback.
Well, that's a
My bad.
problem. That's a problem if you do that.
Like that's when when we play the Giants, he's going to respect your quarterback way too much, and he's going to give you that 15-yard cushion. And you're going to be like, dude, we only need 3
I
yards.
think our wide receivers can even get open with 15 yards in front, besides Slayton.
I'm
I'm
telling
just being
you,
honest.
No,
when
I
you
think they
watch,
can.
you have to watch the Eagles game, and you'll be like, oh my god, they only need 3 yards. Why are they giving them a 15-yard cushion? It's
Do the
bad.
players have the option to audible that a little bit and decide to come up closer on those coverages, or they have no say? Like whatever the play is called, then that's it.
I don't think they have a say. I don't think
Okay.
so.
I don't know that.
Well,
But
honestly, though,
his little
Ray hasn't been playing
his
that
little
well. in
sheep
last
this
year.
big, and when he can never his defense, he can never switch it where, hey, we got to switch up and do it this way.
Mm,
His play sheet is this big, and that is it. And that's the plays he calls.
mm,
And he can't. So if a team's beating him, he can't figure out how to stop it.
mm.
If it ain't working in his playbook, he can't figure out how to stop it. Jonathan Gannon is a big problem for me.
Yep, me too. Well, speaking of Jonathan Gannon and the Eagles, how many rushing yards will the Packers get against the Eagles? Jeff, I'll start with you because you're on the outside looking in.
How many rushing yards did Jonathan Taylor have last week against the Eagles?
56.
84?
No, he had 40. He had 40 on one run.
Yeah, but he had 84 total. Because,
Oh, he's 84.
because total out of the running group was 99.
Oh.
And that was the first time that the Eagles let up under 100 yards or held the team under 100 yards in like a month.
Yeah, he had 22 for 84 and a touchdown. Mm-mm.
And they stopped
Oh,
running
yeah,
him
I
in the
guess.
second half.
Yeah, they started getting
So
too
if they
pass
would have
happy
ran him
balls.
more, they would have
We
won
would
that
have
game.
lost if they ran him more.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
now
the
you
strength
got
of the
now you have two good
we
running
got
backs.
AJ Dillon
in Green Bay.
and Aaron Jones. I'll say about 85 to 90 yards they'll get rushing. They might get 100 plus as a duo. No,
Oh,
not
okay.
each.
I was gonna
I
say
think
each?
they might get 100 plus yards as a duo because I think both guys are just tremendous running backs. I think the Packers will run the football. Individually, I think that the highest running back individual will probably get about 75, 80 yards tops, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, I think they will get 100 yards plus, though, combined.
But I'm just hoping now that Green Bay wide receivers, since they're not that good, can have they got to have a bad game.
Yeah.
Even though when they played the Cowboys, that one guy went off, right? Didn't he have like 3 touchdowns?
Christian Watson,
Yeah, over 100 yards.
Yeah.
But we have 3 good corners, so I'm looking for 3 interceptions today by the Eagles.
All right. So for me, something's telling me 69 total yards, but it's not going to happen. I think the Eagles are going to get or hold them to something's telling me over 100. I got 100.
I do think the Packers have good wide receivers.
100
I like
a person or
No, total.
yeah,
Total.
total by
I
the
got
2?
like 110.
Yeah, I think they'll get over
Yeah.
100 as a duo.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a 100 as a duel.
I
They
do
might
like
get
a couple of the
150.
Packers wide receivers. I like Dobbs and I like Watson. I think when they develop, they could be 2 good wide receivers in Green Bay. They're just too young. And Aaron Rodgers is just being a diva.
Right.
He's not being a diva. His offensive line is hurt.
And he
Nah,
has
he's
a
being
broken
he's
thumb.
being a little bit of a diva
He
too.
has a broken thumb too. Boo hoo.
Yeah, but his offensive line's hurt, and his guys ain't catching the football.
That's true. But he's got young. It's what you expect when you have rookie wide receivers. They're not going to go out there and be Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle in their first year. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, but
all the
it's
time.
it's like the Giants wide receiver core. Your wide receiver core is better than Green Bay's.
That's true. That is pretty scary.
I mean,
but it was
Christian
true.
Watson
Hold on.
has been
And you
balling
just said
out.
your wide
And
receiver
Dobbs was
core
good
is
too
trash.
before he got hurt.
You're saying your wide receiver core is trash.
It is.
And your wide receiver core, I would take that and put it in Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers would be doing way better.
I would say right now, though, that the moment the Giants might be better, but I like both Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson a lot for the Packers. I think both those guys could develop because they showed a lot of promise with the Packers. I think if they develop next year, they both could be very good wide receivers with Green Bay. I would expect the both of them to be starting on that team next year. I think they have upside. The Giants don't have a lot of wide receivers with upside. They have veterans right now and other guys that are bit players at best. Our most upside wide receiver is now out with an ACL injury with Robinson. So I think the Packers have upside at their two wide receivers with Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson. So we'll see.
The Packers defense is hurt too, right?
No, they're a mess. They lost They lost Stokes. They lost Rashawn Gary. They lost one other player, I believe, got hurt. They're a mess right now in Green Bay. Their defense and their offense is a mess too. I agree. Their offensive line is awful.
I think if Green Bay does not make the playoffs, which I don't see them making the playoffs,
Yeah.
that the head coach gets fired.
You think they're going to fire Matt LaFleur after one bad season?
Well, when you just paid somebody $50 million, they're going to go with him and say, all right, you didn't try to get him a wide receiver in the offseason. You didn't try to give him a wide receiver by the trade deadline. And he's over there, and you see how Aaron Rodgers is acting. Gets in his face, starts yelling at him.
Yeah.
And I just think he's gone. They're going to say it's Aaron Rodgers is why their team's been doing so good. And now you didn't give him no weapons. You took his major weapon and you just gave it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. But at the same time, Rodgers is supposed to be a leader, and you can't just keep chopping down your young players. You got to try to stick behind them. Even though it might be difficult, you're a veteran quarterback, you want to win. You can't keep trashing your young players. You don't see Daniel Jones or any of these other quarterbacks doing that to their players.
Yeah,
and Jones' wide receivers have been awful.
There's a dude named Tom Brady. He just will trash his whole offensive line.
But he's not going into the press conferences and saying things. But
he'll grab his wide receivers and trash them. Tom Brady does it on the field.
That's fine. The players understand that on the field because Tom Brady's being a competitor and he's trying to get them fired up.
So Aaron Rodgers is just being a competitor too.
But he said some things in the press conference just to trash his team.
He piss some guys off to say, "Yo, I got to do better."
He threw his wide receivers under the bus recently for them dropping too many passes and not making some catches and stuff. Tom Brady though has won a Super Bowl with those guys. There's a difference.
Tom Brady does it all the time now.
But they've won a Super Bowl. There's a difference.
He has way better weapons than anybody out here.
That's true, but he's won a Super Bowl with that team. They understand.
Only one.
It's still a Super Bowl. What has Aaron Rodgers won with those kids? Nothing. Nothing.
But they're all rookies, ain't they?
You want to try to keep you don't want to try to throw your rookies under the bus. They're young players. You want to try to build them up, their confidence. I know it sounds stupid and cliched, but you want to try to build up your young players.
It makes sense.
Well, I mean, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones. You think these guys care about getting criticized?
You got all them great guys, and you're giving up nothing. You're losing, and all you're doing is trashing them. My passes are great. I'm the greatest.
Now, Tom Brady's taking accountability too. I don't love Tom. I mean, Tom Brady's taking accountability for his shit play too.
Well, he needs to. Now you figure out he stops cheating. Look what happens.
I mean, I can't say that. They did win a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, and he didn't cheat. So.
He
But
didn't
he
get
cheated
caught.
before.
He didn't get caught.
Yeah, I'm not going with the whole cheating thing. Tom Brady, I'm going to give Tom Brady the credit he deserves.
How do you not go with the whole cheating thing?
No, I just think he's cheated. He did, yeah, of course he cheated in New England, but I don't think he's done everything to cheat. The dude is also a winning player.
Dude has flated footballs because of weather.
Hey, AK. Good morning.
I get that, but at the same time, he's also made plays in the moment to win football games. You can't take that away from Tom Brady. He's just done it.
I take everything from him. That's like saying Pete Rose should make the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think Pete Rose should make the Hall of Fame by this point.
But
I think he should.
He broke every rule there is.
I understand. And they're not. He will. And Pete Rose will get to the Hall of Fame when he passes away.
And Barry Bonds should make the Hall of Fame.
He should make the Hall of Fame too. He should make the Hall of Fame too. Roger Clemens make the Hall of Fame. I think they should. Enough with this crap. Because there's people that are taking steroids that are in the Hall of Fame right now.
Even though you're cheating and you're doing steroids. Now,
but there's players in the Hall of Fame right now that took steroids or did nefarious stuff and they're in the Hall of Fame. It's misconstrued.
The whole thing is
Hall of
just
Fame
stupid
stuff.
at the end of the day.
It
The whole
is.
thing is just stupid.
Why is Albert Bell not in the Hall of Fame? Because he was mean to the goddamn writers? Albert Bell was one of the greatest hitters in Major League Baseball history, and he's not in the Hall of Fame? You're kidding me? He didn't cheat.
He was just a jerk off.
It doesn't matter. Are we putting people in the Hall of Fame because they're jerk offs? Or are we putting them in the Hall of Fame because of what they did on the field?
You can go to the NFL. Look at T.O. and how long it took him to get in the Hall of Fame.
T.O.'s a dick. He's in the Hall of Fame. Randy Moss is a dick. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Guess what? T.O.'s in the Hall of Fame because they didn't want to put him there, but they had to.
I don't care. Then you know what? You're a fucking writer. Suck it up. See what these people did on the field and get them into the Hall of Fame for their accomplishments on the field. Stop putting your personal feelings in the way from what a player did on the field. It's a joke why somebody like Albert Bell is not in the Hall of Fame for everything he did with his team in Cleveland. The guy was one of the greatest hitters in Major League Baseball history. And Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he even stepped foot with the Giants and before he got big and did all those crazy home run stuff. He was a Hall of Famer already. Roger Clemens was a Hall of Famer already.
Right. Jeff, you are totally 100% right. Barry Bonds was already a Hall of Famer before he started doing steroids.
Yeah.
But the problem is, once you cross that line, and it crossed the line, Pete Rose was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he wasn't winning big money. He just bet. And it's one of the rules you can't break.
I understand that. And I completely agree with you.
You look at someone like Michael Jordan, though, who's constantly gambling.
Yeah, he gambled too. But the difference is he didn't gamble on his team and he didn't gamble and bet on games. He just gambled. If he bet on games,
he didn't bet. Michael Jordan was not betting against his team or betting for his team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Calvin Ridley. Why is Calvin Ridley not in the league right now? Because he bet. That's why he missed the whole year. Because he bet on games. But, I mean, I know we went off topic a little bit here, but honestly, I get 100%. I get what you say, Philly Halftime. You're absolutely right about cheating in the game. That should not happen in any sports. But I don't want to hear the BS about writers having their feelings hurt because somebody was mean to them in the media. I don't give a shit.
I agree
put somebody in because of their accomplishments on the field. And throw some guys. You put your feelings aside and you give up being a writer and you stop voting. Some people belong in the Hall of Fame because of what they did on the field. And that's what the Hall of Fame is about. Your accomplishments on the football field, the hockey ice rink, the basketball court, the baseball diamond. That's what it's about, is what you did on the field, not what you were like as a personality off the field. And it's so friggin' misconstrued. The type of things that the media says and does. Oh, my feelings were hurt. He was mean to me back in the day. I'm not going to put him in the Hall of Fame. He was a bastard. Screw you. Give up your damn card and let somebody else that will actually have a backbone put these people in because they actually were great on the field. Albert Bell, put him in the goddamn Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds, put him in the Hall of Fame because I guarantee there's a lot of other people that cheated that are in the Hall of Fame. And let's just be
A-Rod
real.
in the
There
Hall of
are.
Fame?
No, he's not. A-Rod's
He's
not in the Hall of
That's
Fame.
what I thought.
No.
David Ortiz, I think, is a cheater. He's in the Hall of Fame. There's other people that are in the Hall of Fame that cheated. Let's just
Right.
be real. Let's not put our blinders on.
No, you're
There
right.
are people in the Hall of Fame that cheated. So at the same time, why are other people not getting their opportunity to be put in the Hall of Fame? And Pete Rose, he will be a Hall of Famer when he dies.
I
That's
don't
when you'll see
think-
Pete Rose
I'll
go in the Hall of
never-
Fame.
I would like to see that if Pete Rose ever goes in the Hall of Fame,
He will. He will.
because he should be.
He
But
will.
with all these reporters, and they get the pick who goes in the Hall of Fame and who don't. Well, who gives them the right to pick?
Because they're the writers.
So okay, you're a writer. It doesn't
They're
mean
old
you know.
farts that want to have their
It
own
doesn't.
decisions out
It
there.
don't mean that you know that sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should give the fans.
No, the fans is going to be too biased too. You should have like a
I think
mix.
that they should give the fans at least one pick,
That's fine.
year.
I agree with
one
that.
pick
I
a
agree
year,
with that.
just to test it out. You get one pick.
Mm.
Fans get one pick. Say like if it's I don't know, Pete Rose, go with Pete Rose. Does he get in or does he get out? And the
Yeah.
fans get to pick it. I bet you more fans will say Pete Rose goes in the Hall of Fame than not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know
I
why
agree
Pete
with
Rose isn't making the Hall of Fame? Because they don't want Major League Baseball doesn't want to give Pete Rose the satisfaction when he's alive to be inducted into the Hall of Fame so he can
Right.
give a speech and be,
Yes.
praised of all his stuff he did in the past. When he dies, I'm telling you, this is a fact. When he passes away, the next year Pete Rose will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
If he
Mark
goes,
my words, he will be inducted the year after he passes.
if Pete Rose right now would go in the Hall of Fame, I agree with you, Jeff. He would have this big list and trash all baseball and make them look stupid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when he passes away, he doesn't get that satisfaction, then you induct him in the Hall of Fame for his
Yep.
accomplishments he did on the field. And you could put aside all that stuff because Pete Rose is not there anymore to enjoy it. And that's the obvious one. That's the obvious one. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, I think they're Hall of Famers. Football guys, I think there's a bunch of football players that are Hall of Famers too. T.O.'s a Hall of Famer as he should be because of
He
what
should
did
have
on
been
the
a
football
first
field.
He
ballot
should have
Hall
been
of
a
Fame.
first
Absolutely. Randy Moss too, first ballot Hall of Famers, but they were assholes on the sideline. But who cares? Their personalities. They were phenomenal players on the football field,
When you're,
Okay.
especially
when,
T.O.
when-
All
when
right.
you're Randy Moss and you're telling reporters to kiss your ass,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, that's
Marshawn
acceptable.
Lynch, I think he should have made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
No, here's
Your
another
reporters
player.
suck it up.
Here's another player that's debatable. Antonio Brown. You think?
I think eventually, I gotta look
I
at his
think he should make the
stats.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
If
player
you look at
wise.
his stats, if you take the guy away,
Yeah,
take the stupid shit that he does away, and you look at his gameplay on the field, yes, he deserves to be a Hall of
yeah,
Famer.
I agree. He had a Hall of Fame career. The guy was unbelievable.
But
a
he's not
football
going to be a
player.
Hall of Famer because he's an asshole.
He did some very, very heinous things off the field. I think eventually, if time goes by and he actually stays like on his good graces, maybe in a long time
I
he'll
don't
make
think
the
that'll
Hall of
ever
Fame.
happen.
Maybe. I don't. Right now, it's not happening. There's no chance in hell he makes the Hall of Fame. No chance. Talent wise, on field, absolutely. His career was unbelievable. He had a stretch at wide receiver that not a lot of the players put together with how good Antonio Brown was.
Did
Ricky
Barry
Waters,
Sanders
there's
make
another
the,
one.
Did Barry Sanders make the Hall of
Chuck
Fame?
Speed Eagle.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he is in the Hall of Fame now?
Yeah, oh yeah, but there's no way Barry Sanders would not be in the Hall of Fame.
How is he not in the Hall of Fame?
He's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
No, he's in the Hall of Fame.
He is.
2004 he was inducted. 2004 he was inducted.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yes, because remember he retired early. You have about that 4 or 5 year window before you can get. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer. The dude was one of the
He
greatest
was
running backs ever to
phenomenal.
live.
Oh, yeah.
He did
Same
things
with
that people will
Megatron.
just like.
Megatron's in Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, he
He's in
just
the
got
Hall of Fame
inducted.
too.
Yeah, Megatron just got inducted, and he should. He was one of the game-breaking wide receivers that we have not seen at his size and things he could do. Yeah,
And
he's a
Bo
Yeah,
Jackson
man.
make
first
the Hall
Hall
of
of
Fame.
Famer. Yeah, I think Bo Jackson is a Hall of Famer.
Well, I
Bo
know he's a Hall.
Jackson.
I know he's a Hall of Fame. I don't know if he got in there yet.
I believe he did. Let me check.
I think he did. I think.
Bo
He should be.
Jackson,
He was the
Hall.
first one that played football and baseball.
He was
the first
inducted
one-
into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1996. It doesn't say he was,
I
which
don't
would be an
think he
absolute
did
joke.
He's not in the Hall of Fame,
I don't think
He's
did
not in the
either.
Hall. Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame. That's a joke.
and that's crazy. How great he was.
He was
When you make a video game about a guy, that's crazy.
terrific two-sport athlete. He was too.
He was, yeah. He was the first one that played a game for the Raiders and then went to and played with the Kings. And he ran on that wall and ran back
Yeah.
down the wall.
Was it
Same
the
night.
A's or was the Giants?
Huh?
Was it the A's or the Giants when he did that?
Was it the Kings?
There was a baseball team, the Kings.
Not the Kings. Who was it?
Not the Dodgers, not the
Not the
Padres.
Dodgers. Forget who he played for.
It had to have been the Giants or the A's. The San
No.
Francisco area. Let me see.
Forget who he played for.
We'll get to the pickups in a second, guys.
No, we're fine. We're fine. This is a very good conversation.
Let me see.
I love talking to Hall.
the
I like
Angels. He was with the Angels and the
That-
Royals.
the Royals. He
Yeah,
did
he
it
was
with the Royals.
Mhm. That's what we meant. My bad.
So he went to he was with the Raiders,
That-
played a game, then went to the Royals, played a game there. He ran on the wall
That's a great point.
and ran back down the wall.
Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. Why is Bo Jackson not in the Hall of Fame? Davis, he was a good running back for a short period of time, but that's it. Because he won 2 Super Bowls with Denver.
That's
He had
it.
a short
Terrell
career.
Davis is one of my
He's got a
favorite players
ring.
of all time.
And
He's got 2 rings, and he was great, but he had a very short career.
I love Terrell Davis. I love
Bo Jackson, he ran so fast. He ripped both friggin' legs out of his goddamn hips. He dislocated both legs.
Yeah.
Dude, that's saying something. That guy's a beast.
Hey, Speedy Eagle, how old are you again? I'm sorry, I'm just like deja vu. How old are you again? I'm losing my memory. Yeah. I'm telling you guys right now, the Hall of Fame for every single sport is garbage. Trash. I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I went there. One of the greatest experiences of my life. I will never forget it, right?
17.
What?
No, Speedy Eagle 17.
Oh, you're 17? Okay. For some reason, I thought you were 18. But anyways, yeah, the Hall of Fame is just ridiculous on who they let in, who they don't.
Right.
And I was at the Hall of Fame with
Biased.
my dad, and I was just asking him, like, these notable players of all time, just like random players. And then he would go, nope, he's not here. Nope, he's right, he's not here. I'm like, wait, what? How are these players not here? Like, ridiculous.
That's one thing I do want to say. I want to see the Baseball Hall of Fame and the Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, a friend of mine years ago, she went to the Hall of Fame in baseball or football, and she was like, I'm not friends with her now, but she was like, it's one of the greatest experiences of my life, and she went to every single Hall of Fame.
I've been to the
Basketball.
Hockey Hall of Fame. It's amazing over there in Montreal. The Hockey
Oh,
Hall of
yeah,
Fame is
yeah.
incredible.
Like
That's the only Hall of Fame
basketball,
I've ever been to.
I want to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's the one I want to go to.
I'd love to go to all
Chad
4 of them.
Johnson. Ocho Cinco.
That's a tough one. I think Chad Johnson had a terrific career. I gotta see his stats. I think he's a borderline
Nah.
Hall of Famer.
I do agree with Speedy Eagle right there. Chad Johnson does, because he had a mouth, but his play showed it. He did everything phenomenal. He's like, told the corner, come here. No, don't go back. Come here. come here, get right in my face, because I'm going to burn you so bad. And he done it.
Here's his
Catches
career
were crazy.
stats. 766 catches, 11,059 yards, 67 touchdowns, 14.4 yards per catch over his career.
Yeah, he was like getting 1,000
So he has
yards. He was having 1,000-yard games. I mean, 1,000-yard seasons.
That would be incredible if you had 1,000-yard game.
Yeah,
that would be
1,000-yard
really
game. Yeah, that'd
incredible.
be.
And how are you not in the Hall of Fame after you have a 1,000-yard game?
Yeah,
So
but I think every year he had like a 1,000 yards season until him and Tio got together. And
His
since
numbers are pretty good. He had over 765 catches in his career. He did have over 1,100 yards receiving. He was close to 70 touchdowns. That's close. That's close. That's close to a Hall of Fame career.
You know what we should do? One day we'll make up a random stream for the network. We can put on whoever channel you want.
oh
We
god,
can just talk about the Hall of Fame, like who should be in it, who should not be in it, and we'll have
that'd be
the
a
chat.
good one.
Yeah, we should do it. We'll set it up. one day.
Mitchell Kopsky should be in the Hall of Fame.
What for Q's?
Hey, whoa! I'm not saying that. You threw that one out there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't know where you got that one from.
Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor was a terrific player, and he should be a Hall of Famer or close to it. So should Jimmy Smith. And I would even debate Keenan McCardell as well, how good he was.
Jimmy Smith not ringing a bell for me.
The wide receiver out of Jacksonville, the dude was a beast.
Oh, okay.
Beast.
When you said Jimmy Smith, I was thinking of the Eagles content creator real quick. Victory.
No, Jimmy Smith was an absolute. Jimmy Smith was a terrific wide receiver. He was one of my favorite wide receivers back in the 90s. The dude was unstoppable. Unstoppable.
He was good.
He's a Hall of Famer. Look at these numbers. 862 catches, 12,287 yards, 67 touchdowns with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And
That's
they
Hall
don't-
of Fame worthy. That's
I don't
incredible.
understand what the reporters look at besides their stats.
They look at his attitude and stuff too. Look at
Wait.
Keenan McCardell. He was good too.
All right, let's just bring up the pick'ems because this
McCardell's career was great too. He actually had more catches than Jimmy Smith. He had 883 catches, 11,373 yards, 63 touchdowns. That was Keenan McCardell's career. That is a great. That's incredible too. And these guys in the 90s, they put up incredible stats back in the day. Remember, McCardell and Jimmy Smith were teammates with Fred Taylor back with the Jaguars when they had Mark Brunell as a quarterback. Imagine having those two guys as your starting receivers and you have Fred Taylor as your running back. That Jaguars team should have won a Super Bowl. That was one of the one teams that should have won a Super Bowl with that offense.
All right, let's bring up the pick'ems here because these games, man, I don't know how
They all suck, don't they?
We'll go through. Buccaneers, Browns. I got Bucks.
It's the last game before Deshaun Watson, I believe, comes back, so I'm taking the Bucks. Bucks need to win.
All right,
I got the Browns.
Oh,
I got the Browns. I think the running game is going to keep the ball away from Tom Brady. And I think their defense is going to frustrate Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Titans, Bengals.
Oh, my God.
This is a tough one. What's going on, Rob? This is a tough one.
Rob, you can pop on in if you want. We're just doing pick'ems.
I'll take the Titans because they're home. I think the defense will eventually get the job done. So I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans. Their defense is playing well, and Derrick Henry is just running the football like a madman.
Yep, I got the Titans.
I got the Titans, too. I don't have faith in
I hate the
Nice.
Bengals offensive line. I hate it.
Yeah. And Jeffrey Simmons is playing. It's going to get ugly.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Oh.
Do we have to even pick this one?
Come on, well, you know we're all picking the Texans.
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
come
but
on. You know
look
we're
at
all
the
picking the
percentage.
Texans.
Look at the percentage. 99-1.
That'd
Who's
be
Yeah,
kind of
the
funny if
1%?
the Texans win.
All right. How many points are Miami going to score against the Texans?
I got 30.
I'll say 35.
I'm with you guys. 35, 38,
How many touchdowns does Tua pass for?
4 or 5, maybe
4.
6.
4.
I'll say 4. Yeah, I think 4 would be a good amount. Tyreek Hill will have a nice bounce back game, and
Yeah, you're
Jalen
going to have
Waddle.
like 3 touchdowns.
Jets. Bears.
Jets. Without Justin Fields, the Bears are in trouble. Jets.
Justin Fields is out. He might be out for the year, right?
I'm not sure.
I
How
don't
bad
has
is
a
that?
torn ligament in his non-throwing shoulder,
Ooh.
but they don't know. They had to do more MRIs to it because they think it's more serious than it is.
Yeah. All right. So we got the Atlanta Falcons against.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up.
You are absolutely
Mitch, are you a
obsessed with that
Commanders
button.
fan?
Yeah, you're starting to make us believe you're a Commanders fan, like you're waving that Commanders flag off the camera.
I'm surprised Mitch ain't got a tattoo.
He's rolling out that number 4 Heineke jersey over in the background. He's like going, "Go Chase Young, go Chase Young, go Chase Young."
So I actually do have the. Who has the Falcons?
I have the Commanders. I think the Commanders are rolling. I got to pick
I
the
got the
Commanders.
Commanders.
No one has the Falcons?
I got the
I see.
Commanders going to win by 10.
Yeah, I just think the Commanders are better. I think they're a better team.
And their
Plus-
the Falcons tight end is out.
Yeah, Pitts is out for the season. And I
Yeah.
think the Commanders know they have a big game next week. The thing is, the Commanders cannot take this game lightly because they have a big game next week against the Giants, which
Dude.
could be for a playoff spot. So they got to win this
Check
game.
this one out.
Handle their
If they
business.
win against Atlanta, then they beat the Giants. Ain't they up there like second, third place with our
Yeah,
division?
they're in third place in the division. They're in third place in the division. They beat us because they would have we'd be tied the same record, and they would have the upper hand because they beat us once. That's why next week's game is so important.
That's gonna be crazy to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Broncos, Panthers.
Whoever
Oh,
puts this on their
God.
TV
Ugh.
needs to be shot.
Yeah.
Just shoot them.
You're not you want if you really want to enjoy this game, just turn off the TV or go watch something else. If
Yeah.
I have to pick, oh my
I
God.
don't even know how to pick.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
want
and they,
Broncos.
And
They
can they
just-
send in a tie?
They just benched Baker Mayfield, so what you call it's in now, right?
Sam Darnold, yeah. Oh my God. You know what? Screw it. I'll say the Panthers. Sam Darnold will have Sam Darnold will have like his once in a lifetime great game because the Broncos are a mess.
Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Oh, it is a bold strategy, Cotton. Absolutely. And I think that I believe that by the way, the inactives just came out, and Gus Edwards, Demarcus Robinson are in, Justin Fields and Jamar Chase are out.
Damn,
I'm gonna go with the
that makes sense in
Broncos.
one of my leagues.
Russell Wilson has to be playing better now.
I just don't trust the Broncos. I don't trust the Panthers either, but I trust the Panthers more than I do the Broncos. I'm going with
Even
the
though
Broncos.
the Broncos coach needs to
And
be
Panthers.
shot and fired.
That's a little extreme there, Philly.
Yeah, I think, dude, come on. When you gotta hire somebody for a 2-minute drill, that drives me crazy.
Oh, he sucks as a head
You're a
coach.
coach. How you not know how to do a 2-minute drill?
Bro, he was a dead man walking ever since the first game of the season when he decided to kick a 64-yard field goal, not once but twice, when you have Russell freaking Wilson as your quarterback. That's when I'm like, this dude's not it. I don't
Yeah,
trust
but
this team.
But you don't know a 2-minute drill. It's crazy.
He sucks as a head coach. He's an embarrassment. Ravens, easy one for me. Ravens are gonna win. Ravens.
Who's the 5% that picked Jacksonville?
The Jacksonville
Honey, that's
fans.
a big Jacksonville fan.
If they don't really have a big fan base, so.
Chargers.
Oh my God, another game. It's the battle of what team is going to find a way to screw it up in the end worse.
I got Arizona's going to win this one.
They got Hollywood Brown back.
Bold
They got
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
They got weapons on wide receivers now.
Oh yeah, Marquise Brown's back.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown is back. I'm taking the
Not a
Chargers.
good running game.
I'm
think
taking the
Chargers
Chargers.
are just way too hurt, right?
Yeah, I think Mike Williams got hurt again, but they still have Keenan Allen. Their defense and offensive line are a mess, but I think that the best thing for the Cardinals, to be honest, is they need to get Cliff Kingsbury out of there as a head coach. So I'm going with the Chargers. I think the Chargers will win this game. Not doing it. I don't care if they won last week. I'm not doing it. I'm not picking them. Seattle all the way. I am not picking the Raiders. I do not trust that football team at all. No. Sorry, Eric. I don't trust your football team. I'm going with the Seahawks.
I picked the Raiders last week, but I cannot pick the Raiders again.
Yeah.
Seattle's way too good. I think they'll be in the playoffs. And then you got their quarterback is actually playing really good. He's what?
Geno Smith?
Yeah, Geno Smith is actually playing like a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. I just don't trust the Raiders. I don't.
Yo, but can you ever believe that Geno Smith is a top 5 quarterback right now?
No, because I had to watch him in New York for years with the Jets and the
That's
Giants.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I watched
He was
him firsthand.
horrible in New York, and here he is. He's a top 5 quarterback right now.
I mean, could you say the same thing about Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
No, this is different. Jalen Hurts is still a young quarterback, though, at time to develop.
No, I'm just saying.
Geno Smith is a veteran who has been horrible everywhere he's gone.
He was already ranked as garbage
Yes.
when he was playing with the Giants.
Yeah.
And it was like not even a backup. He wasn't in the third string backup.
Yep.
Everybody
And
noted
with the
him
Jets,
like
too.
he shouldn't even play football.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is a top 5. Like he just did over and overturned, and over here he's done a 360, and now he's a top 5 quarterback. Yes, he has better weapons, but God.
Shout out to Pete Carroll, too. What a head coach he is. He helped turn around Geno freaking Smith. Pete Carroll is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and he has been for a long time. I know people dog him for that decision he made years ago in the Super Bowl. Instead of running the football to Marshawn Lynch, he decided to throw it. But Pete Carroll is one of the best head coaches and has been one of the best head coaches for years. And he is a Hall of Fame coach to me for the job that he has done with Seattle and making that team into one of the best NFL teams for years. Kudos to him.
All right. Chiefs, Rams.
Oh, Chiefs.
This rematch of the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Which is like the friggin' the Walking Dead over there going against the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's actually a perfect way to put it. They are like the Walking Dead.
Dude, they're like just everybody's hurt. Like,
yeah, they are a disaster. We talked about it earlier. This is a team that mortgaged their future to win a Super Bowl. They got their Super Bowl, and now they're going to start paying for it.
but how many people would be against their team for giving up the farm to win a Super Bowl? Would you be upset about it?
It depends on the fan, because a lot of people might say that they would rather try to win and still have some type of a future, because you could still do that. But yeah, if you win a Super Bowl,
All right, you're a Giants fan. You're a Giants fan, Jeff. Right now, if the Giants did what the Rams did, Would you be
Okay.
happy?
Well, I mean, I won the Super Bowl, so obviously I'd be happy about that. But at the same token,
But
my
now
future
you
I
know
know is
for
going to be
5
bleak for
years, you
years.
know for 5 years, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Would you take a
it's
Super Bowl over
It's a
it?
catch-22. It's a catch-22.
Sign me up. I'd take a Super Bowl.
I would take the Super Bowl too. You're right. I would more than anything. I would take the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I could see it being a catch-22 where you just look at the future and be like, "Holy shit, we're gonna suck for many years."
But that's
But
what happens. When you go to the Super Bowl, that's what happens. You start sucking the next year.
if you're the Rams,
Cincinnati, the Rams, they are both going to be terrible for a couple of years.
if you're the Rams right now, after this season, would you think about trading guys like Cooper Kupp and Jalen
Trade
Ramsey to
everybody.
get capital? With
I
capital,
I'm
trade
getting rid of
everybody.
everybody.
I think
would trade
Aaron
everybody.
Donald's going to retire.
Yep, I would
I think
trade
he's gonna retire.
everybody. Just like when I said the Eagles. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, everybody looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, they should trade everybody. Now, I wasn't on YouTube when I said it. I'm like, they
Yeah.
should trade everybody. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. I would have traded everybody
Mhm.
because then you could have got so much draft capital. But
What
now
are
with
you, the
damn
Oklahoma?
Davis
What are you going to
Michigan,
be, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and have like 20?
But you
veteran
need some
veterans?
veterans on the team too. You
I
need
would
some
say.
guys.
Yeah, but you could have just, you know how if you would have traded Fletcher Cox after you won the Super Bowl, and you would have traded Brandon Graham after the Super Bowl, and you would have traded a lot of your big name guys, what you would have got for them?
Yeah.
You would have
Well,
got so many
look at
first round
us.
picks. You would have got so many first round picks. You'd have been set already.
Look at us. Right after we won those 2 Super Bowls, OC, Tuck, Kiwanuka, Strahan, Kenny Phillips, Entrell Roll, Jason Pierre-Paul, Ahmad Bradshaw, Amani Toomer, all these guys, Brandon Jacobs, all those great players, part of those Giants teams that won the Super Bowl a couple of times. They didn't resign them. They didn't trade them, but they let them go in free agency a couple of years afterwards. And we saw what happened. The Giants just couldn't draft anymore. They sucked at drafting players to replace them. And that's why we had 10 years
But
of
that's why
disastrous
you have to.
football.
That's why after you win a Super Bowl, that's why you're supposed to trade people.
We also
And
have to be able to draft well, too, to be able to replace
if the
those
Rams
guys.
would have traded people instead of trying to say, "Hey, we're going to do this, we're going to reinvent the wheel." No,
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, they wanted to go for a Super Bowl. They went all in. They traded all their draft capital for a Von Miller and an Odell Beckham Jr. And look what happened. They got their Super Bowl.
I would say this. I'd take it.
I would take it too. We all would take it. We all would take a Super Bowl because there's very, very difficult to get. Ask the Buffalo Bills back in the 90s how difficult it is to win a Super Bowl.
Dude, I was watching it, boys. I was like, I can't believe how many times they failed. I was like,
They couldn't beat us. They couldn't beat the NFC East. The Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders the Redskins. The Redskins took care of them back in the day. They couldn't beat the NFC East. That was the problem. Oh, God. Talk about another team
Dude,
that's a
see how
disaster.
bad these teams are? Come
The
on.
Saints are horrendous this year, too. They're another team that's a disaster.
Yo, golf
Oh,
clap for the
God.
Saints. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, they
We have the
suck.
10th pick now, so
Huh?
we need the Niners to win.
Gotta have the Niners to win,
The Niners should win.
but I need to get back to the 4th spot.
Who the hell's the quarterback for the Saints? Is it Dalton or is it Winston?
It's
Dalton.
Done.
Or is it Taysom Hill?
I think Winston's out for the year, right?
Yeah, it's
Is he?
Dalton. Taysom
So it's
Hill's
Dalton?
the tight end.
Oh my God!
But
But
the running back wants out.
Yeah, Kamara wants out of there. Michael
Kamara
Thomas.
wants out. Michael
I
Thomas
drafted
wants
him
out.
this year.
Michael Thomas has played 3 games in 3 years.
Hey, that's
3
still
games
more
in
than
3
30.
years.
Yeah, but see, Michael Thomas is doing it wrong. I think he's just won his paycheck and saying he's hurt because remember when he was hurt
Mm-hmm.
and they were acting like he wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to do that surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think he's so mad he just wants out.
I agree.
Facts.
So he's just going to always say he's hurt. Can't be mad at Michael Thomas. He just don't like the organization no more, and he wants out. But it's hurting him because people are not going to trade for somebody that's hurt.
Nobody's going to want a guy at his salary when he's played 3 games in 3 years.
Right.
He's approaching his age 30.
Earl wants to know which NFL team needs a redemption win today.
Easy, Jets. Jets,
Saints.
easy one.
Saints.
Jets.
Saints.
After what happened to them last week, the Jets need a win. They have to get back on the winning road.
Giants.
Well, Giants already lost, so
I
we're
know.
not, we're done already.
No.
It's the Jets. It's not even a question. It's the Jets. They need to win. After what happened to them last week, that was a bad loss. You know, as much as I would love to pick against you guys, I'm not an idiot. I'm picking you guys to win. The Packers are not a good football team. You guys should win this and win this handily.
I think the Eagles win by 10 points, maybe 14. It's going to be double digits. So
yeah,
I got the Eagles winning 28-21.
This should be a solid win for you guys.
I think it's going to be 31-21.
Colts, Steelers.
Colts.
I like the Steelers, but I got to go with the Colts. Steelers have not been playing that good.
Yeah. And their quarterback position is holding them back too. Pickett's just a rookie. He's got to learn the game, the NFL game. So I think that Mike Tomlin, you know what? After having 15 years of 500 or above, he's allowed to have one losing year. That dude is incredible head coach. Incredible.
He's been already a coach for 15 years.
That's the Steelers, baby. They don't. The Steelers just don't fire head coaches. They have such an incredible track record of head coaches with that team, with that organization. They do it right. They're the model franchise of what it's like to have a head coach, like the Patriots were for a long time with Belichick. That's exact, and the Seahawks with Carroll. That's exactly what the Steelers are with Tomlin. Tomlin is, I think, the best head coach in the NFL. I'm not afraid to say that. Tomlin, to me, is the best head coach in the NFL for what he does every single year with the talent he has, the way he's such a leader in the locker room, and what he's done with that organization. Tomlin is a terrific head coach.
He should be a Hall of Fame coach.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would take Mike Tomlin. I love Brian Daboll, and I hope Brian Daboll can become a great coach, as you guys probably hope with Sirianni. But if Tomlin ever would walk through the door, I mean, it's going to be very hard to turn Tomlin down. Tomlin is that good of a head coach.
Yeah,
He's that, and he's still young, too. He's not old like some of these other coaches because he started off so young. But, yeah, it should be a good football Sunday either way. And, hey, going to say, too, in 2 weeks from today, you and us, we're going to start meeting up for the first time. We're finally going to be able to face each other for the first time this year, Eagles and Giants. We just got to get the Commanders next year.
That's going to be a good one.
Me too. I think it's going to be a great football game. It always is when we play against each other. Always is a war when the Giants and the Eagles play, just like the Commanders and the Cowboys. We are the bitter rivals in the NFC East. So when we play against one another, we're friendly now, but there's going to be a lot of shit talking probably coming when the Giants and the Eagles play.
You know it's going to be a lot.
It's coming. I don't even care if our team is coming out of the playoff hunt. I'm still going to be confident in my team against the Eagles, as you guys obviously will be against the Cowboys. We still got 2 more weeks. We've got 2 weeks until that happens.
Who are you guys against next week?
We have the Commanders.
And we had the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the Commanders at home, and then we play you. We have back-to-back home games coming up.
These 2 weeks were the struggling weeks I had the Eagles for.
Yeah.
I had the Eagles losing to the Green Bay in the beginning of the year and the Titans. But since how they've been playing, I had to change up a little bit. But there's still going to be rough games because we can't stop the run.
Neither can we. We can't stop the run either. We've been getting destroyed in the run game every single week. That's the problem with every team in the NFC East. They don't know how to stop the run.
Yeah.
Every team in the NFC East is getting gashed in the
Can't
run,
stop
and we
the
all know how to
run.
run the football.
We don't run the football because Jeffrey Lurie don't like us running the football. He thinks every play should be a pass.
That's idiotic. That's why he's an owner, because he has no idea about football.
So, I mean, that's his theory. His theory is he don't like running the ball.
That's why Mr. Lurie needs to stay in the press box with his wife and just worry about, owning the football team and not worry about what it looks pretty on the football field. I'd say the same thing about John Mara. It's about winning the football game with a combination of running it, passing it, stopping the run, and getting a pass rush. Not about it looking pretty. It's about old school football
Jonathan
mixed with
Taylor
new
had
school
84
football.
yards, Jeff. I mean,
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had 84 yards rushing last week.
Sorry, Gary. He had
That's all
84
good.
yards.
Yeah, he had 40. He had 43 yards on one play.
Yeah,
The problem with Taylor is they didn't run him
but
at the second half.
before we close out the show, what football game besides your own tonight are you guys looking forward to the most this afternoon?
All of them because I'm watching Red Zone.
Well, I mean, but like what game? I know we're doing the red zone in about an hour, Mitch, but like what game individually are you looking forward to the most? And Philly halftime, if you want to hop on with us too for the red zone stuff, you can.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a red zone thing, me, Mitch, and Tone.
Yep. I gotta think here.
That would be interesting. You got me thinking now.
Hold on, let me look at the schedule.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the schedule. You know what? I'm going to say Cincinnati and
That's what
Tennessee.
everybody's doing right now. Let's check out the schedule.
Cincinnati, Tennessee to me is the most intriguing game because both those teams are top teams in the AFC. I love Tennessee. Talk about great head coach Mike Vrabel. What he's been doing with that football team. Vrabel's a tremendous
You know what I'm
head
getting
coach.
at? You know
And
what?
Cincinnati's just got that. What?
I'm stuck between two. You know what? Screw it. Falcons and the Commanders. Because the Commanders have been on a hot streak. So I'm just
They
wondering.
better not be overlooking the Falcons getting ready for us. That's the thing. There might be a trap game for them. They might be overlooking the Falcons, looking
Can
for
you
us. And the
imagine
Falcons
if
are in a
the
playoff
Falcons
hunt
win?
too.
Can you imagine if the Falcons win without Kyle Pitts?
It's possible. I could see it.
You know what? It would be the Falcons game. You got to worry about the Washington Commanders. I wouldn't want to say Washington Redskins. I'm like,
We all should still be the We know they should be the Washington Redskins. We know the deal. Just like the Cleveland, whatever the hell they're known. I mean, it should be the Cleveland Indians again. We know what the deal is. We
I
just
hate the
it's
Guardians.
it's the environment we live in. So we have to just go with what it is. So
it's weird. It's just stupid and weird.
it is stupid. They're the Redskins. They will always be the Redskins, especially for
always gonna
old
be
school
Redskins to
football
me. I
guys
don't
like
know.
us.
But yeah, why? I guess I would have to want to watch the Washington Redskins
Mm-hmm.
because of they're in our division,
Yeah.
and then you also had the Tennessee because we're playing them next.
Yeah.
So because that's who the
You know what's funny? I still have Derrick Henry. I was able to draft Derrick Henry with the 7th overall pick, and the fact he's playing this well. But
I think that game's going to be tremendous too because you have two different styles. You have old school football with the Titans, and you have this new air raid football with the Bengals. So I think it's going to be a nice little dynamic. Though I think with Chase out, him not playing yet,
Yeah,
I think
but
that's going to be in
they're
the
hurt.
Tennessee's favor.
ain't Tennessee's tight end hurt too. I mean,
Hooper?
no, the Cincinnati's tight end's hurt.
I don't know if Hayden Hurst is hurt. I know Chase is hurt. I don't know if Hurst is hurt too. But yeah, it's two different types of dynamics. Old school meets new school football. So that's gonna be a fun game, and it could be jockeying in the AFC. Who's winning the AFC North? Is it the Bengals or is it the Ravens right now?
The
Ravens.
Ravens.
The Ravens are winning.
Hands down should win it all. But I just think the Ravens have been losing too many.
I don't trust their
because-
defense.
I think it's because freaking the quarterback ain't got his head in the game.
That too, and I think their defense
He's
is not.
looking
The
for the
defense
big
misses rank.
contract.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
he
their
wants
defense
to be
was
the
ranked.
highest paid.
right? Yeah, highest paid.
Do you think he's going to get it?
If I give it to him, I'm going to give him some weapons. So
I don't even think that's the problem. I think he has weapons. He needs wide receivers, yes.
Well, I mean,
but
that's what
tight
I mean.
ends are great.
That's the weapons I mean. When I say weapons, he needs wide receivers. He don't have that wide receiver.
No, Duvernay's solid, but he's not a number one. And
Yeah, but he's a
Bateman is
number two.
okay.
He's a number 2 or 3.
Yeah, and Bateman's been hurt a lot. So they do need a number one receiver. I agree with that.
Like the Eagles got 2.
They need running backs too.
Eagles got 2 number 1 receivers.
Yeah. Well, you guys have the best receiving core. Dallas is the best tight end group. Washington.
No, our tight end group.
No, Dallas is better. You have to admit.
Yeah,
Dallas is Dallas has a really good tight end group. Jake Ferguson looks good as a number 2. And that Hendershot kid, he's not bad as a 3rd. And we have the best running back. We might have the best running back collective group in the NFC in the East with Breida, Brightwell, and
our
Barkley.
coach doesn't use Miles Sanders now.
Yeah. We got a guy. We got a guy that runs 7 yards a carry, and we don't use him.
Is that Sirianni or is that Steichen?
First of all, I got to blame the head coach for not getting on Steichen.
Yeah.
But you got to run him.
Yeah.
You're gonna run him to the ground.
You don't.
That's
you
the
don't
thing
run
too.
him.
Like,
That's
why is everybody yelling at us? Why is everybody dogging Gannon all the time? If I were you guys, I'd be pissed off with Steichen too. Steichen's made some very questionable decisions as well.
I'm more pissed off with Gannon because of all the talent we got on that side of the ball, and he's not
You
using
got more
the right
talent
spot.
on defense.
Hell,
all the
Bobby
talent you
Wagner
have
has
on
one
defense,
sack.
and people are running wild on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everybody's always on Jonathan Gannon.
What are you?
Well, let me show you something, brother. I'm gonna go out there and we're gonna run the football, brother.
And that's what they do.
Run the football down there.
That's what they do.
Oh, brother. I'm bringing back the old Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan thing back in 2005.
Damn.
Yeah, going back in the day.
That's back in the day? Oh, shit.
For nowadays, it's 17 years ago. It feels like back in the day. 2005 is a long time ago. Which is crazy just to think about it. God, we have about a month left until 2023. That's crazy.
Hey, slow it down. I didn't get my vacation in yet, Jeff.
It's coming. It's coming. It's on the way.
I got 3 more weeks, then I get my vacation.
Well, you going to go anywhere fun for vacation, or are you just going to just chill and relax?
I'm just going to chill and relax. And
don't blame you, bro.
I
don't blame you at all.
Get my knees back, and everything's sore, and take my little vacation time.
That's the thing that Mitch doesn't understand is when you get older, like your joints and everything, they start getting sore. You hear clicking. It's not fun.
When you can't get up.
That too, yeah. You have trouble getting up when you wake up in the morning. You're like,
I got it wrong. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Pause. But
there's no pause with that. There's nothing bad that I said.
Okay. I'm not even gonna go to that route.
Now I want you to go to that part, but all right.
Mitch just took it there.
I want you to. I'm that guy, Mitch. I want you to take it to the next level.
Yeah. Imagine Coach Ed Gladney was up here too. He would have taken it to the next level.
Oh my God.
Coach would have taken it to the next level if he was up here.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, I know. Hey, and I would have taken it to the level after that. But hey, any hot takes real quick before we end it? We got like a couple minutes.
Miles Sanders gets over 100 yards rushing.
Mine was Miles Sanders gets 2 touchdowns.
Miles Sanders gets, there you go. Miles Sanders gets over 100 yards.
And 2 touchdowns. There you go.
There you go.
I picked against them earlier, but what the hell? The Raiders actually win 2 games in a row. The Raiders actually string together 2 wins.
You been drinking something or smoking something funny?
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
I don't know. I just threw it out there. What the hell? It'd be fun. Hey, Eric would be happy. SC Experience would be a happy man if that happens. Well, I don't know if he'll be happy or if he'll be sad.
Jeff, last night for our Survivor Series watch along, there was Hammer's house. he's a Raiders content creator who has like 4,000, 5,000 subs. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
like he's a good friend of mine, but I'm just saying, there's a Raiders fan, another one that's upset that I know.
Well, I mean, can you
Hold
blame
on,
him?
wait a minute. Let's be honest here. Would you be upset
Yes.
if you spent all that money on your team and your head coach, your new head coach,
Yeah.
is putting out this kind of
Hey,
garbage?
hey, I think about that every day. Every day because all the talent we got this offseason.
I mean, you got to think about it.
That's worse.
He could have been an Eagles head coach.
Oh, he could have been a Giants head coach.
Could have been a Giants head coach.
Thank
This
for
guy
fuck's sake that
really-
didn't happen.
And
Mm.
I'm just glad that he's not the Eagles head coach.
Oh,
Just
my
happy he's
God.
not the Giants head coach. I think we both
Can you
are very
imagine
happy
if we
about
had
that.
him and Gannon?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
Gannon
think
is
that'd
his
be
right
great,
hand man.
I think
On
it'd be
that
funny. I think
note-
there'd be a lot of fighting.
Josh McDaniels should do what's best for him, and he should not be a head coach anymore and go back to being Bill Belichick's lackey over there in New England. That's what he did best.
Yeah, but
All
he's
right.
not going to turn down all that money.
I know, but it's just, yeah, he's not going to turn down the money, but him as a head coach, I mean, he sucks. He's a bad head coach.
And the question for you is, if the Raiders lose this game, does he get fired? It's his
No,
first year. He has a 5-year contract. Does he get fired?
I don't think so.
So
I
that
think that
means
they're
he
going to
gets
want
paid
to.
no matter what.
Yeah.
But do they fire him?
Honestly, I think they're going to try to work it out. They're going to try to
They're
see if
gonna
they can
work
work
it
it
out.
out because
They
of the
already
money they
said that
gave
they're
him.
not
How
gonna
are they
fire him.
working out?
I don't know. I would fire him. I would get rid of him now. But I think they're going to try to work it out because of the fact the amount of money they paid him, and they're not going to want to get out of that contract after 1 year.
He's not
they're
making
just
that
gonna
much,
blame-
right?
I
He's
don't
really
know how
not
much
making
he's
that
making.
much.
He's just such a bad head coach.
But he's not making
a-
that much. Ain't he making only like 6 or 7 million?
I think so, but he's just such a bad head coach. He's not
I mean,
a leader.
it's not like you're giving up 65 million.
That's true. I don't know. He's just.
I mean,
he's
I'd
not the
fire
answer.
him. I
Oh, so would I. So would
I
I.
would have fired him a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
if it was up to me.
No, you're not wrong on that one. I would have done the same thing. I would have gotten him the hell out of being the head coach because it's clear as day the dude does not know how to coach in the NFL as a head coach. He's a great coordinator, but that's all he is. Some people are just great coordinators and they're not head coaches. Guess what? Josh McDaniels lies right into that mix. He's a great coordinator, but he's not a head coach.
I wouldn't even want him as my coordinator.
I admit I would. He's a good. He's a good
small
offensive
encounter.
coordinator. He's good at calling offenses.
But is he?
Yes.
Like, what did he really do in New England?
I think he did a lot for that New England offense. It was a mixture of him and Tom Brady.
I think it shows you he didn't do nothing.
But last year, they were still winning without Tom Brady, and McDaniels had control of that offense. They were doing it with Mac Jones and less talent. So that's why I have to give him credit.
I don't think he had much say like everybody thinks he did.
Then who's calling the offense? It's not Belichick. Belichick's concentrating on the defense.
I think he has to deal with a guy upstairs or something.
Maybe you're right. That could be true. But I think that he's a very good coach in terms of
I think he was
being
putting
an offensive
players,
coordinator.
I think he was putting like players in and taking them out. Like, yo, that's what his responsibility was.
No, you might be right. You might be right on that.
I don't know.
one.
I don't know. I mean, right now the way he's running the Raiders,
Yeah,
I don't know if he is even
he sucks.
if he's not even a good offensive coordinator.
No, he's not. He needs to be removed as the head coach. It's not working. But I
I
don't
just
think
want
they're
to see
going
the
to
Raiders lose again.
Oh, they probably will lose again. I don't expect them to win.
I think
just
it'd be
threw it out there as
hilarious.
like as a take. I think it would be hilarious too.
The Raiders went to the playoffs last year.
They should have kept that head coach they had last year. He was good.
I mean, they went to the playoffs last year. You went and spent more money. And how many wins do they have now?
Like 3 or 4. I think 3.
3, right?
I think they have 3. Yeah.
So, I mean, God, you went from the playoffs to you're garbage.
And think about it too. Look at all the distractions they had last year with everything that happened off the field with
Right.
an assistant head coach, and they still went out there. They're 3-7.
Their one guy went to jail.
My God, this division is so
Was
bad.
it the
Every
running back
single
or
one.
wide receiver that went to jail?
Henry Ruggs, the wide receiver.
Yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah.
When your guy goes to your number one wide receiver goes to jail, there's an issue.
Man, this division is so bad. How all of us were saying this division could have been the best in football, and it's got one team that's
the
over
funny
500.
part.
Oh, one team over 500. That's it. The Chiefs. Everybody else, 2 teams that are 4 games under 500, and then the Chargers are at 500. That's crazy. We're all dead wrong about that one. Every single one of us said the AFC West would be the best division in football. We're all dead wrong.
I thought the Raiders were even going to win the division.
So did I, and so did AK. We all look like idiots now.
Dude, I look like
a moron.
It's unreal.
I said Derek Carr could have been the MVP conversation. What the hell do I sound like now as a football content creator when I'm putting out idiotic takes like that when Derek Carr is on a 3-7 losing team and he's crying at press conferences?
Yeah, why? And that got me too. I'm like, dude, I was so done with Derek Carr. I'm like, dude, you lost your manhood.
I don't even think it's his fault.
Why are
I
you
think it's just
crying?
his team is so bad.
Why are you crying? You lost your manhood to me. Why are you crying? You got
He's
a
probably
manhood.
fed
You
up with
lost your
everything.
manhood to me.
He's probably just fed up with everything with that team because the expectations they had. Derek Carr, the expectations they had, and the fact they just fell right down on their face. I don't blame him getting upset.
Hold on, check this out. Derek Carr had, 5,000 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's not even at 2.
Yeah.
He threw for 5,000 yards last year.
Yeah. With lesser talent.
With lesser talent. Now you went and spent $30 million on the guy.
30,000 million?
Yeah.
It feels like it.
Million.
They signed a banged up tight end.
Receiver, and you ain't got shit to show for it.
And they signed Waller to an extension and Hunter Renfrow to an extension, and they're not even on the football field. They're both sitting on the sidelines most of the time injured. And I like Renfrow, and I like Waller, but they're never healthy.
I like everyone on that Raiders team.
You do.
Dude, they drafted Alex Leatherwood in the offensive line last year. He sucks. He sucks, and they thought he was going to be a right tackle. We saw how that worked. He didn't even make the team this year. He was cut after 1 year. A first-round pick was cut after 1 year. That's bad. They just cut their first-round pick a couple of weeks ago in Abrams. They've cut all their first-round talent that was on the team the past few years. You want to talk about a team that doesn't know how to draft lately? It's the freaking Raiders.
Right there.
They do not know how to draft. Their draft picks are horrendous lately. Horrendous.
You know,
and they have to give up all this talent.
That's what I thought Harry Roseman was going to do, that kind of stupid shit.
They have Mr. Freaking mock draft Mike Mayock as their GM. Look how that went.
Well, he don't know shit either.
No, he doesn't.
So on that note, guys, that concludes the Sunday Morning Show, episode 11. We appreciate everybody in here. We had 9 people in here at one point. We got 12 likes at least from the last time I checked. So thank you guys for all your support. And one more thing.
Mitch is going to dance.
No, you missed it when Michigan won. But last thing. This is Michigan's conference, and we're all living in it.
Don't steal my catchphrases.
It's not yours.
I say that all the time with the Nets. I say that all the time. It's the Nets world, and we're just living in it. Now you're stealing my catchphrases? That's copyright infringement. Copyright infringement, Koski.
It's a difference.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Michigan, everyone can shoot the ball. It's on a different sport.
Hey! Don't criticize Ben Simmons anymore. He's playing well now. He's playing well.
That's
you have
not
to admit it. Ben Simmons is playing well.
It's
Oh,
not
good. I got
gonna
his
help
rookie.
postseason.
I got his rookie card. Is that gonna help me out?
Maybe it's helping. Maybe it's helping. But he's playing well right now. It's the team that's not playing well. And I have to do a shorten a little bit because I have some news on the Nets that maybe might help the team out going forward before we start the show later.
All right. So on that note, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll catch you all later. Have a good one, and go Michigan.
Awesome.